Okay, gang, we're back. We're gonna do a rotisserie smoked boneless rib roast this time. We did the turkey. We're gonna do the rib roast. I'm gonna do some old school stuff that I think I'm gonna go back to regarding how we heat it up and how we start the cooking, how we end the cooking. But and I'm actually gonna truss it this time, and I'm gonna put it on a rotisserie. Like I said, rotisserie smoke. So let's get started. Okay guys, so I'm going to play around with some video editing just because make it more palatable for you guys to watch the videos. How I do my ukulele building videos, I just go and I stop talking. So what I'll do right now is I will stop talking while I truss this. You saw me go about 4 times the length, and bear with me. I'm going to shut up and see if we can fast forward through this. All right, now that we got it trussed up, I'll be honest with you. If I'm gonna do a video, I want to do a video so you guys have things that are always available. Well, I'm gonna kind of slide this time. Sometimes you gotta know a guy. Captain Derby's Firehouse Flavors. Thank you, Brian Derby. We got his seasonings here. But I'd like to add some kosher salt. Just, this has Hawaiian salt in it. This has Hawaiian salt. Kosher salt for me tends to give a little different salty flavor, but that doesn't mean I don't like Hawaiian salt. I also add in a little bit more garlic to my rib roast. Later on, we're gonna add in some rosemary on the top, and I love to use thyme on my roast. Most of you guys know that if you know me. I also put some black pepper in here. Don't mind the bird. He's just doing his thing. Looks like he wants to take a bath, I think. All right, got this trussed up already. What we're gonna do is we're gonna salt this and just go from here. I am not shy when it comes to seasoning my roast. Why? This is all gonna fall off anyway. All right, just do that. Get some on the sides. All right, I'm gonna shut up and see if we can speed through this part of the video. Okay, we're gonna let this sit. And we're gonna throw it in tomorrow. The first time I'm dry brining, and we'll see what happens. All right, we'll be back. Add one. Yes, we're gonna let it sit in the refrigerator so it doesn't spoil. We're not keeping it out all night. So in the refrigerator it goes. All right, guys, we are not quite 24 hours later. Dry brine, this is what it looks like. We're gonna stab it. If you didn't notice, this has actually been kind of trimmed on this rib roast. There's no bones, boneless. So all I'm gonna do is stick the spit rod right through the middle and then see where we go from there, okay? So I have a little mark over here where the end of the ring goes, and I want to I do want to center this on the rod itself. My eyeball measurement here. And that's it. Let's get ready to go put it on the fire. Okay, guys, let's talk about some old school cooking that we're gonna do here. Just suffice it to say, the battle between start high, finish low, or start low and let it go. I've done that before. I'm gonna go back to what I learned probably 30 years ago from my chef. Sear the outside of the rib, high heat. I don't think I can get up to 500 degrees over here. And then just bring it down and let the heat cool down to about, I say cool down, to where we want our target cooking temperature, 250 to 300, 275, and then we'll go from there. So we got the Onlyfire rotisserie going over the Weber grill. You guys probably seen my other turkey videos. We're using the same thing. Anyway, that's the theory. We're gonna try to start it high and then bring it down and finish it off low to get that good sear on the outside. And then we'll give you some pics on what it looks like as we go along. I'm gonna start the meter after this, and then we'll take some vids of that as well too. Okay, so as we said, we're gonna try to start this thing high. That's what it says right now. It's probably not gonna get much higher than that. If I take this off, you can see where I got both sides going. A little pan in here, a little bit of water. I threw some black peppers just for fun. So let's get this rotisserie going. Let's stick it in, and we'll see where we go. So took us all of 30 seconds. We put the boneless prime rib roast on. It's already going. You can see I put my blocks of mesquite on there. I actually got it on both sides. Now normally, if I was gonna start it low, slow, I would only heat up one side, but I got heat coming on both sides. We're gonna cover this up, let it go, and I'll give you some time frame on when we revisit again. Okay, we're about 10 minutes into the cook. You can see how actually the temperature went up pretty nicely. See with the graph, we started right above 260, and then it made its way up fairly quickly, right about 8 minutes, actually about 4 minutes, and went over 400. So it's on its way to 500. I don't expect it to reach there. Normally we would keep it at 500 for about 15 minutes and turn it down, but we're gonna take a sneak peek to see what we got. And there you go. You can see the crust is already starting. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna start closing up the vents. Mind you, the bottom vent is open all the way. So we're gonna close that up and then close up the top as well. Okay, sometimes you gotta adjust the cook. It wasn't dropping fast enough, but you can see the big drop. We're about 18, almost 18 minutes in. Temperature's coming up internally. It's only at 50, which is fine. The target is at 120. We're now at 278. So what I did, I just took off the top. I closed the vent all the way. We're bringing down the temperature of the coals. And I just cracked it open. So the bottom vent is just cracked open. We're right at 275. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close up the top, leave the top vent just slightly open. You can see that temperature is going up. So I might just close that bottom vent again. All right, guys, it just went off. Remove from heat. By the way, look at the temperature, 250. It was closer down to 200. Let's go ahead and click this off. It's at 113, target 120. This is what it's looking like right now. Let's go back to this. I'll show you the chart later on. I'm actually gonna do another cook. You see the spikes that go up? I was trying to cover it up, but the heat would get too hot. So most of this cook was done uncovered. I brought it, put the cover back on just right at the end, and then we're gonna pull it off at 113 and then let it rest. Okay, so that's the chart right there. We'll go back and you can see what we're coming off at. And then if you want to see it right before it comes off, that's what we're looking at right now. Looks good. Gotta admit, pulled a little piece, got a little taste. We'll come back. All right, some of you sharp eyes might have noticed that I actually had 2 prime ribs that I prepped. So here's the second one. We just finished grilling some stuff, but I'm setting this one up a little bit different. There you go, just one side. There's our pan. You know, we just use the same pan. Nothing on that side. And we are going to start. Oh, let's do this. One-handed. One-handed. It's a little heavy. It's okay. There we go. All right. I'm going to start this. I'm going to start it off slow. Okay. Oh, don't forget to put my smoking log in there. There's my big thing of mesquite. Let's get the smoke going. We're gonna put the vents on the opposite side. Right now, the bottom vents are almost closed. I want to keep the temperature super low. I got this actually closed right now, but we'll go ahead and play around with it. You know, there's some holes in this Onlyfire rotisserie ring. We're gonna let that go and then come back. Okay, we're gonna call this very well rested. Let's trim this out. Take out some string. Oh, yeah. This is the first one where we did high heat and finished it off slow. Old school, I learned this over 30 years ago, but there are still people that do it. We did the second one, low and slow and low, and we'll see how that one comes out later on. But for now, we'll see how this one came out. All right. Take a slice off the end piece. And we just do that right there. That is, I call that a nice medium rare. You know, it's been sitting a while, but people can eat it just as it is. I'll probably pull it out a little bit earlier next time. In fact, let me pull the other one out right now. Okay, apologies to everyone who's stuck with us this far through the video. I didn't video the second prime rib, so I'm just gonna summarize what happened. I pulled it out at 110. It actually was done closer to what I like, a little bit more, I'll say colored. But essentially, by doing it all low and slow, I was able to control the heat much better. And you saw how we set it up. We just put the coals on one side, the vent on the opposite side. And some would argue this is not smoked because it only takes about a couple hours. But the smoke flavor permeates through the entire roast. So we call it smoke because of the flavor, not necessarily the technique. And obviously the rotisserie is the technique. When I do this again, I ended up buying those charcoal baskets. I like them, But really, honestly, I like doing the snake technique much better. So because this cook is really fast, the snake only has to go, and you can look that up on YouTube. Snake technique is very popular and very, very easy. And it's a very, very good technique to keep a low and slow cook. You can turn the rotisserie across the Weber as the snake heats itself up on the charcoal. So for future reference, I'm gonna low and slow the rotisserie prime rib. I'm gonna snake technique it as well too. By the same token, I'm gonna just snake technique along with the turkeys that I'm gonna do as well. So low and slow snake technique, rotisserie smoked prime rib, and you guys will absolutely be fine. The rotisserie though, huge difference for me. I was never a rotisserie guy. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make some comments, and we'll see you guys next time.